Welcome to Dark Psychology World channel. Have you ever been so engrossed in something that you lost track of time? You're so focused and efficient that you temporarily forget about everything else. It's a smooth and comfortable state. When you finally snap out of it, you realize a lot of time has passed. This reminds me of an anime, Kuroko's Basketball. It's about a group of passionate teenagers playing Division I basketball. There are two talented players who enter a state called John. In this state, their basketball skills skyrocket, their concentration sharpens, and their reaction speed improves. They become more powerful than their usual selves. But John isn't about transformation or becoming a Super Saiyan. It's about utilizing your strengths to their fullest potential under certain conditions. It's about reaching 90% or even 100% of your capabilities. This might sound like a fantastical concept, but it actually exists in reality. The famous basketball star, Kobe Bryant, once talked about entering the John state. He said that in this state, everything in front of you slows down and the opponent's defensive loopholes become apparent. Psychologists call this state flow. It's a state that allows people to perform at their best by bringing their spirit and concentration to the forefront. Isn't that amazing? So today, let's talk about what flow is, the benefits of using flow, and how to achieve a state of flow. If you're new to this channel and you're interested in animation psychology and life knowledge sharing, feel free to subscribe or become a member. Let's get started. Harry lists 9 characteristics of flow. See if you have such a situation. The term Lu in English isn't John, it's derived from the English word flow. This concept, also known as starstream, was first proposed by a Hungarian psychologist named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi in 1975, who then completed the flow theory in his subsequent research. Mihaly was always curious about what allows many painters, musicians, or athletes to concentrate and immerse themselves in a project without feeling bored or anxious. Instead, they're filled with a continuous inner motivation and become completely selfless in the project. He found that these driving forces aren't the money or fame that comes afterwards. Rather, the work process itself is the reward. This can be understood through Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. Human needs are divided into 5 levels. At first, people pursue basic physiological needs like food, water, and air. Once these lower-level needs are satisfied, people's needs develop higher. Next are security needs, which include personal safety, a stable life, and freedom from pain. Then come love and belonging needs such as friendship, love, and affiliation. Going up further, there's the need for dignity, hoping to be respected and recognized for self-worth. Finally, there are self-actualization needs, continuously realizing personal potential and talents. The joy and satisfaction gained from realizing one's potential. Like a martial artist training their physical fitness to the extreme simply to surpass themselves, not for money or status, is a part of self-realization. During this process, Maslow discovered that they all have an almost mystical experience. This experience may be instantaneous, awe-inspiring, or even a fleeting moment of extreme happiness or ecstasy. The ultimate feeling of intoxication and joy is very similar to the flow experience studied by Mihaly. An artist who devotes themselves to their work without sleep or food isn't working for traditional rewards. Instead, the work itself is a kind of reward and feedback. Simply put, flow is when a person concentrates, becomes engrossed or immersed in an activity, and temporarily forgets everything around them. People in this state often burst out with amazing creativity, and it brings a higher level of satisfaction. Can you also enter flow? Mihaly lists 9 characteristics of flow. If you've had such an experience, you'll know. The first is the balance of challenge and skill. Mihaly believes that when your own skills and the difficulty of the challenge reach a certain level, they should be in a balanced state. That's when flow happens. If a person's technical level is very high but the challenge of doing things is very low, they'll become bored. On the other hand, if a person's technical level is low and what they do is challenging, they'll have anxiety. Only when certain challenges match your own technology will flow be produced. The second is the unity of knowledge and action. After reaching a balance between technology and challenges, people's attention will be fully devoted during periods of intense concentration. All actions are done without thinking, almost completely automatic. There's a feeling of oneness between people and action, and things are done extremely smoothly. The third is a clear goal. Even if one is fully committed and the body is autonomous, goals are clearly defined in people's hearts, like a musician. Musicians always know what the next note is, athletes know exactly what to do next, and players know exactly what move to make. The fourth characteristic of flow is clear feedback. With clear goals guiding you, you can get immediate feedback on whether you're performing well or poorly. Mihai uses painters as an example. A painter may not know what the final painting will look like, but as they continue to paint, they'll gradually know if it matches the painting they envisioned. The quality of the results isn't the point, it's the feedback that gives people a sense of achieving their goals, creating a path for them to continue walking in order, which strengthens the continuation of flow. The fifth characteristic is focusing on the task at hand. In Mihai's research, the most commonly cited characteristic of flow experiences is that people completely forget about all the unpleasant things in life during this experience. This is probably because when you're fully immersed in the moment, there's no room for irrelevant information. The sixth characteristic is a sense of self-mastery. In flow experiences, people often mention the word control. Sometimes we feel uncertainties in life and are always worried that things will get out of control. But in flow, it's the complete opposite. A writer described it as feeling a sense of happiness, like they have complete control over their world. The sense of control plays a vital role in flow, especially when doing difficult things. The seventh characteristic is the loss of self-awareness. When a person is fully engaged and in flow, any irrelevant stimulation at the moment will be blocked. They won't think about the future or the past anymore. At this stage, the self will disappear from consciousness. Of course, it's a loss, but self-awareness still exists. You're still familiar with each muscle's own breathing rhythm, it's just that you no longer think about yourself. This way, you won't be limited by yourself, but transcend yourself. The eighth characteristic is losing time in a state of flow. People's sense of time will be different from usual. The whole person seems to have entered their own unique time. For example, basketball players have their own rhythm of playing, not affected by actual time. However, some people will implement projects within a limited time. Therefore, losing the sense of time is not an absolute characteristic of flow. The ninth characteristic is the self-contained goal, which refers to goals triggered by self-intrinsic motivations. It's not about accepting future or external rewards, but rather doing this is the best reward. Many top athletes don't care about winning the game, rather, they experience a high and wonderful feeling. This kind of concentration on doing what you love, even entering flow, is such an exhilarating experience. And in this process, rewards are automatically generated. After saying so much, I think what everyone is most interested in is thinking about how they can enter the flow state. Flow, or starstream, isn't a sudden miraculous phenomenon. It can be achieved by creating a suitable environment. Based on the characteristics we've discussed, you might already have an idea about it. For your convenience, let's break it down into 5 conditions and steps to enter flow. The first step is to set clear goals. You need to know why you want to enter flow. Flow is a state of deep immersion when you're working on a project or activity. So, you have to know exactly what you want to do. Try to focus on things that interest you. With enthusiasm and clear goals, you'll be more dedicated. Let's say you're playing basketball. You need to set a specific goal, like making a three-pointer. The second step is to gain control. If you're practicing three-pointers, you need to find someone who can shoot them. You need to know the standard pitching motion. Your pitching skills must be balanced with the challenge. If your skills are poor and the challenge is high, you'll feel anxious and give up easily. If your skills are high and the challenge is low, you'll feel bored. Only when there's a balance between the two can you enter flow. That's why only masters are prone to flow. If not, let's improve the relevant skills first. The third step is to break down tasks into phases. You can't achieve perfect results in just one practice. Therefore, the goal must be broken down into smaller goals. For example, a small goal of scoring 3 goals in 3 shots. When a small goal is achieved, increase the challenge, like scoring 5 goals in 5 shots. This continues, forming an invisible path with clear goals and timed feedback that people can follow. The fourth step is to eliminate interference. The main symptom of flow is deep stillness, so distraction is the biggest enemy of flow. Before executing the project, you have to eliminate distractions. For example, mute your cell phone, finish important things first, and try to block or dispose of all things that will affect you. Focus on it with determination. The fifth step is to forget yourself and be happy in the moment. If the above 4 steps and conditions are met, it's almost time to enter flow. The last thing missing is to disappear yourself, not physically, but spiritually. Even if all external interference is eliminated, what often destroys concentration is one's own thoughts and ideas. For example, thinking, why didn't this ball go well? Or that shot just now was pretty good. All these thoughts and self-examination will destroy the concentrated concentration, leading to failure to achieve a state of flow. Dr. Mihai mentioned that only when you don't bother thinking about yourself do you have the opportunity to expand your knowledge and break through the boundaries you set. Of course, flow can happen in a variety of ways, such as reading, chatting, doing research, etc. You can try to create a state of flow by following the conditions and steps mentioned above. Creating flow isn't simple, it requires some practice and experience. The benefits of flow or star stream aren't just about allowing people to focus on one thing and achieving a certain efficiency. Scholars have found that during flow, the brain secretes hormones like dopamine, which makes people feel happy. Therefore, flow also allows us to plan for more happiness. Interestingly, if you look at the conditions for entering flow, you might notice that there's one thing in life that fully meets these conditions: playing games. Every game has a clear goal, like defeating the final boss. Before this, the game arranges each small goal for players to achieve. The player's level often matches the challenge, and there are also instant rewards given back to players. Whether it's a deliberate design by the game developer or something else, it explains why it's easy for people to become addicted to games. I'll analyze the psychology of addiction when I have the opportunity in the future. So, have you ever had a flow experience? Feel free to share them below. Don't rush off just yet, there are 2 videos you might also like. You might as well click in and take a look. If you think this video is good, give it a thumbs up. You can also share these interesting knowledge with your family and friends. Press the subscribe bell and I'll notify you when there are new videos. This is the Dark Psychology World channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.